Hey and welcome to this video. So in this video we are gonna build infinitive scroll on the page. So first of all, let's make a data here and then return a list that's gonna be empty and page that's gonna be 1. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna have the entire list here that will be push data into every time you reach the bottom of the page. It will push data in, update the component, and load the extra amount of data that's been loaded. The page is what we're going to use for Laravel. So we're basically going to use Laravel and we are going to have pagination, and then we're going to go to page 2 when we reach the bottom of the page, and then it will load that extra data. So what we need to do now is we need to go in and make a methods, and then we need to say infinitive handler and put a state in here, and then we need to let VM equals this. Then we have this one here. So what we're doing is we set this one to this here to access the list in here to push the data in. Then we need to also as well to say this.page equals this.page plus 1. So now that it successfully get the data, we will go into this route we are going to create page, and then we are going to get the data and return it, add it into the list. To go in here, the card component we have, and we can actually just put in item.title and then just make a for statement. So we need to say v4 item in list, and this will actually then render the data when we have installed the necessary dependencies. We need some dependencies for this. So first of all, we can install view resource, and I'm gonna come back when it's installed. Alright, so what I need to install now is the infinitive scroll plugin. The reason why we need to install this is because this saves us a lot of code and writing, and it works with Laravel. So once this is installing, we can go inside our app.js and we can say view.use require view resource. So while this is installing, I will just do something else and come back. Alright, so now that that's installed, let's go in below here and say view.component, and let's require in view infinitive loading. So what we will call this component will be infinitive loading. And what we need to do now is, this is very important as long as you do this below the card component. So below this one here, say infinitive loading, we put in the infinitive handler here. And a distance of 1. And when that's put in, it will actually do every time you scroll down to the bottom page, it will load some new. The thing is, we need to now create this route. So the way we create this route will just be as normal. So let's call it all post and say all.post. So basically we now need to create this function We can do that inside our block controller or home controller, depending on what you prefer in case of structuring your code. Then we need to create a variable in here with data. That's gonna be equal to block. And then we're gonna say order by ID, paginate, and then how many posts you would like to show at first before it loads some new ones. And I'm gonna go by 10. You can go by 5 or 20, depending on whatever you feel like. Then we need to return this as with JSON. Of course, put in the brackets here. And now when we go in and look at the page, it should actually work. So first of all, if you're gonna do it in the home controller, remember to use this one here. Otherwise it will fail. Now of course the last thing we need to do as well is we need to go inside here and we need to go into the home.late.php and load in the view component. So what you can do here is we can say example component, which is the one that is named by default. You can change this name. And then we can go down here and say as well, doesn't matter if you're a guest or not. You might, if you want to still keep the message for people that's log in and say welcome, you're now logged in, but that's not really necessary. So let's see what's wrong here. Yeah, so the thing is we need to actually go in and do some change to our code, because this was a minor issue with using the Vue.js. So first of all, we should go into our admin block here, and then this part should be put into its own script in the app.blade.php. So let's just find the file here. Okay, this needs to be put at the bottom here. Basically we're gonna do it like that, and we also need to include this one in here, otherwise it will give an error. So now that we have done that, we also need to take this one here, put all the way down here and say type takes JavaScript, and we need to remove this part here as well. So we just leave this for now, say defer here instead, and then we can remove the other things, because as you might remember here, we don't need to repeat the exact same code. So what we can do now is we can go in here. Okay, so first of all, there's an error here, and that's probably to do with our routes. So let's see what's happening here. So inside the network, alright, I'll just come back just briefly and see why this error happens. Alright, so the error is because we need to change this to paginate. Before that it was written like that. This is just a spelling error. So if we refresh the page now, this one here, we can ignore this for now, since it doesn't actually do anything, because if you see here, we will actually do that to that, and if we reach the end of the page, it will just say this. So if we go in and look now, you can see keep loading 10 component again and again, and it puts the title in here. So in the next video, we are gonna, first of all, we're gonna put in a summary of the description instead of putting the entire blog post title in, and beside that, we are also gonna put in the links to the blog post, and we are gonna add in the ability to upload an image when you create a new blog post. That will be the preview image, and then the person can go in to this website and see the preview image of that blog post, as well as you will be able to see it at the top of the blog post page. So just to be sure that this works perfectly fine, let's try to see if you can still use the editor, just to check there's no errors with the Swing editor. So the issue, if you experience any issue, the issue would be you couldn't click on those, that the drop down buttons wouldn't work, but as you can see, it works perfectly fine by doing it this way. Again, one way we could hide this is not found could be by targeting only new blog post page, or edit blog post page, or view blog post page, in case you're commenting. But we're going to look at that later on when we implement the comment function, because when we're implementing the comment function, we are based upon if you are logged in as a user or as an administrator, you're going to get a different ability to how you will comment, and we will also check if you are, what type of styling you can use when you comment, and we will also use checking what page you're on. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next one.